Figuring out what products to sell on Amazon prevents thousands of people from making money selling on Amazon, but the truth is, it's the easiest part. The part that is actually difficult about finding good Amazon products is finding great products profitably. And so in this video, I'm going to break down my 3 favorite categories for beginner Amazon sellers to sell. These are the exact types of things that I've been able to sell millions of dollars on in my personal Amazon business. And I'm not just going to tell you what those products are, I'm also going to show you some major hacks on how to actually go out and find these products profitably. So I want to start out by showing you an example of the types of products that we want to be looking for. I want to break down the 3 best categories for a new Amazon seller to start looking in and how to find products within those categories. But I want to just start by showing you an example, right? One of the categories that I think is a great spot for new Amazon sellers, especially because it's so easy to source products in this category, is shoes and clothes. And I know a lot of people might be afraid of categories like this because you will get more returns selling shoes and clothes. But the reason why this category is so good is that there are the most websites selling the same exact products compared to any other category. So for example, take a brand like Dansko or Adidas. There are 25 plus different major websites all selling those exact same brands. So it creates opportunities where the different websites have to compete against each other, run the best coupon codes, and you tend to be able to find the most products quickly in this category. And if you are afraid of the negative profit involved in selling shoes and all that kind of stuff, what you want to look for is products like this pair of shoes right here, right? So this pair of shoes has a 70,000 sales rank, which tells me that it sells decently. Usually in shoes, I like to look under 150,000. And then this exact same pair of shoes, it's selling for 53 bucks over here. And then over here on Sierra, we can get these shoes for 24 bucks, right? So when we plug that into SellerAmp right here, this is our tool that shows us how fast everything sells, how much profit we're going to make. When we plug that in right here, we're going to make about a 50% ROI, right? Especially when it comes to selling shoes and clothes, as long as you look for at least a 40% ROI, that's usually higher standards than a lot of sellers are looking for. It really accounts for the loss that you might incur from some returns. And so as long as you're a little bit greedier and looking for profit on the shoes and clothing category, you can make plenty of money and you'll have probably the easiest time finding more winning items, right? So in this example, we have plenty of wiggle room. We're up at 50% ROI. And now that I've shown you an example, I want to show you some specific sauce that you can use. Go implement this and it'll help you find your first products in this category way faster. And I've also got 2 more categories in a breakdown for you guys and how to find products in those categories. So be sure you stick around and check those out as well. But take this, for example, right? So Reebok.com, super well-known name brand shoe, right? Lots of people want to wear these. And right now we can see that there is a really big sale going on a lot of their existing sale offer, right? So anything in this, anything on this page right here, there's 900 products where we can get an extra 50% off on top of all the existing discounted pricing. When you're looking at pages like this, it can be really overwhelming, like not really sure where to start looking, what products might be good. And so this is where sourcing using SellerAmp really comes into play, because on this item, instead of just having to guess looking through these websites manually trying to find this product, we can use this website right here as a resource to know the best, probably the cheapest place we can find a lot of Reebok shoes. And then if we go over to Amazon, we can just say Reebok shoes right there. And what we're looking for, all we need is one third-party seller who is on a bunch of different Reebok listings. So let's just go ahead and open up this one, for example. I noticed that here's this random seller here, this Orva stores. We just want to find a seller that is doing a good amount of Reebok shoes. And then as we're looking through this store, this is a perfect example, right? So they have 228 Reebok shoes right there. I'm just going to go ahead and click that Reebok button right there. And then that specifically filters me down to only the Reebok products in their storefront. And so now I have a really awesome list of Reebok shoes that another seller already validated. They already know sells well enough for them to go out and invest their own money in this category. And we know an awesome, super cheap place that we can get 900 different versions of Reebok shoes, right? So heading back over to the storefront stocking page, what we want to start looking for is versions of these shoes that Amazon is not selling. Amazon typically hogs most of the sales on a listing that they're on and has a pretty solid BSR, right? So let's just go ahead and keep heading down the list here. And so that takes me to this shoe, for example, right here. We can also see the embedded charts on the SellerAmp storefront view. So this one, for example, you can see that dark orange is shown on that whole chart right there. This whole chart right here does not have it, which tells me that Amazon's not on it. If you don't really know how to read these charts yet, go ahead and just watch our SellerAmp full tutorial. It starts you from the basics. Really just want to narrow in on how to actually find these products today. And then we can just hit that Google button right there. That's probably going to take us straight to the Reebok listing. Yeah, it does in this case. And then we can just see if it is included on that code. So perfect. These are 70 bucks right now. We can get an extra 50% on them. And there is a ton of sizes in stock. So we can just do a quick check. Let's pop these open here right there. It seems like this seller had the black version, but no big deal. We got the white version right there. And so now it's a much simpler game of just looking through this listing. And based on the fact that we can buy these for $35, we just need to see if any of these white and carbon ones are profitable. And it seems like this one could be good. So I just clicked like the size 10s right there. Size 10s are going for 68 bucks right now. So we can see 68.25. We're buying these for 35 bucks. And so yeah, that seems a little bit interesting, right? Checking out the chart feature down here. This is just like literally the first product I was looking at here. So seems like it's got a nice history of selling for 56 bucks from third-party sellers. We can see that buy box price was going to FBA. Seems like the price is a little bit higher than it normally is right now. Typically closer to a $55 item where we're only making a couple bucks. But this is like the very first item we're looking at. So the more items like this you end up looking through, obviously the more potential there will be for profit. You could also even make the case for buying this item and listing it as an FBM offer. So you buy it from the Reebok website, you immediately list it on Amazon and say that your price is 68 bucks. And then if a customer buys it, you can ship it straight to the customer instead of doing Amazon FBA, where there's a little bit of lag time. You run the risk of the price dropping back down. And yeah, so that's how it works, right? So find a sale, find sellers who are selling that brand. They've got a nice focused catalog that we can just focus on. And then it's a simple comparison game there, right? So it does take time. If anyone's telling you that selling on Amazon is super easy, it's passive, all that kind of stuff, don't listen to them. This stuff does take work, but you can see the process and see how sourcing something like shoes and clothes might be fairly simple for you to really get started with. And as we keep going through this video, I'm using our product research tool SellerAmp to see all of this data and find products using all the methods I'm going to break down for you guys today. If you want to go ahead and get a free trial so you can follow along with what I'm doing, start sourcing products for yourself, down below there's going to be a link for a 2-week free trial. So from here, I also want to talk about the second category that I see a lot of new Amazon sellers have success with, and that's going to be stuff like this sale right here. The beauty category, specifically hair care, makeup, all that kind of stuff. It also is really good for kind of the same reasons I was talking about. There's a lot of websites selling the same exact product, so they have to compete with each other, make those products cheaper than they might have to if they were the only seller, that kind of thing, right? There's also a lot of brands within the beauty niche where you can buy it directly from the brand's website. And the brand's website will have a really awesome sale going on. ColourPop is an example of this, where a lot of new sellers, you can get auto ungated in that brand. You can go and look, and there's plenty of stuff on sale. But looking at this stuff here, I want to show you a different way that you can source products, especially if you have a little bit of experience in any of these categories. Maybe you're into makeup yourself, a little bit about this kind of stuff, or hair care, whatever it is, right? Sometimes looking directly at the sales themselves can be a profitable endeavor. So for example, let me show you like the fastest way to do that. I'm just going to open up a couple of these listings here. Sweet. So we'll just look at 2 here, see if we can find something right off the bat, but really just go implement what I'm going to show you. This is how I tend to find a lot of beauty products for my personal $2 million a year Amazon store. But what we can do is we can just go ahead and open up these listings here. We can hit the SellerAmp Chrome extension right there. And what that's going to do is it's going to automatically pull the title and then search that product for us on Amazon. And so in this case, this Mael organic stuff, we can see currently the buy box price on Amazon is 10 bucks. We can get 20% off, but obviously if we're buying for $8 and selling for 10, not really going to be enough margin there. Same kind of story here where we can sell a 2-pack for 18 bucks. We'd need to be buying 2 bottles for 11 bucks. We'd be paying 16 or so. So not really too much profit left on the bones here. But since we used the manual lookup feature of SellerAmp here, we're not having to cross compare back to Amazon over and over again. It finds the correct listings for us automatically. We can also apply the same thing. Tresemme in this example, I've sold a good amount of this brand as well. And I think maybe even this product back in the day, which is funny. But we can see like this, we can get it for $5 a bottle. Here's 4-pack for 28. Here's a 3-pack for 30 bucks. And we could actually get these for, yeah, about $5 a bottle after our coupon there. So we're getting closer, right? One seller. Let's actually check these out. Let's see if there's any history of the price being higher or anything like that. Really, that's the key with product sourcing, is to just be curious, go down as many different rabbit holes as possible. So yeah, in this case, looks like it's been $27.50 for a while, but I don't see it really going up too much. We can see 706 times 0.80 because we get a 20% off code and we're buying 3 of them. So yeah, we're break even, but like even on that, so this item, we obviously weren't even close to profit. This one right here, we're already scratching break even on some of these listings. That tells me that there could be some extra stuff to go after here, especially looking at all these different products with 20% off there. I also really like on these websites filtering down to different brands that you might have a little bit of success with. So for example, this Tresemme stuff, we were a little bit close to profit. I might just like filter down to Tresemme there. And then yeah, we can keep the ball rolling, or we just go ahead and click the Chrome extension. Let's go ahead and see what the listings look like on Amazon and then just do a super quick check, right? So this one, 200K BSR, some weird data going on here. I think it's probably got detached from, yeah, unknown. It got detached from a category. So this is like an Amazon Amazon data issue in this example. Product on Amazon got a little messed up or something like that. But yeah, all we really need to do here is keep going down the line using that manual lookup process to actually go ahead and find a lot of winning products there. And I tend to do more manual sourcing where I'm actually looking directly at the websites. We can do the exact same thing like with these shoes we were looking at. If we click the Chrome extension right there, that would take us immediately to some of these other variations where there might be some profit. It shows us that main listing right there. It's a 27K BSR. You can apply this really where, especially if you're comfortable with that brand, if you're not relying on letting somebody else do the work of finding the ones that sell well, you know how to go in and see, oh, the whites sell really well, or in Tresemme, the hairspray tends to do better than the shampoos, that type of stuff. If you get good at zeroing in on a specific type of product, manual source a lot. If you're just still trying to learn the ropes, then doing reverse sourcing is going to treat you way better in that example. That also takes me into the third category that I would recommend for brand new Amazon sellers. And this is the hardest category to source of the three that I'm going to recommend. It's just selling stuff like this. So grocery category. And the reason why the grocery category can be so good is because there's no returns allowed by Amazon. And so on the flip side of selling high return shoes, that kind of stuff, if you're selling grocery items, you can look for way lower ROIs. Like I'll buy grocery products in the 25-30% ROI range, where I would never buy shoes and clothes in that range because you don't have to worry about pricing in the extra risk of refunds and returns and all that kind of stuff. People typically know what they're getting. It's groceries. They've probably eaten the food a million times before. They're not gonna have any complaints about it, anything like that. The problem with the grocery niche though, is that it tends to be dominated by a lot of Amazon wholesale sellers. So if you're doing primarily online arbitrage, you need to wait for the right grocery sales to roll around. There's not quite as many websites competing on the same brands like there are with the shoes and clothes category, all that kind of stuff with beauty. And so there tends to be a little bit less opportunity to do OA. But if you look at the charts on most of these grocery products, you can see that they're going to be super consistent. You can see this one over the last year has been basically within a couple dollar range. The sales rank has been pretty much the same for the entire year. And so these products tend to be the hardest to find, but the most consistent long term if you're able to find them profitably, where you're just buying it on repeat every month. And so as you're going out and trying to source new categories, new brands, whatever you're not already comfortable with, it's a sliding scale of reverse sourcing, trying to figure out based on what a lot of these sellers here are on, what are some good grocery brands that I'm not aware of? What are some grocery brands? So Celestial Seasonings is a great example, right? So it tells me here's some niche tea brand or something like that I should probably look into. Bigelow tea, right? Here's more tea. So like soy sauce and that kind of stuff. So it's really just going to open your eyes as to what's possible. And then when you stumble on the right kind of website sales, just using Google to guide you to where you can actually buy this stuff, then you might dive in and do a little bit of manual sourcing. Gigantic thing of soy sauce. If you're in the market for sourcing big things of soy sauce here. But at the end of the day, don't let yourself overthink about what types of products to sell on Amazon. At the end of the day, we're all just buying the best data, the best product data that we can. Generally, the products themselves don't really even matter. And so if you did find value in this, please feel free to subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop that down below. And if you want to see me find products live, doing some live sourcing with you guys, breaking down my thought process behind finding products to sell in my Amazon store, go ahead and click this video right here, and you get to see how a 7-figure seller sources products.